Okay, hello and welcome to this second video on the UCAT, University Clinical Aptitude Test. We're going to dive into some questions now, section by section, and this is the first section, verbal reasoning. As I say, all resources are taken from the UCAT website over here, which are links in the description, which I cannot recommend enough as your sort of first and maybe even only place to go to practice for the UCAT. Their resources are fantastic, and all of these are just a smattering of questions that come from that website. So all credit to them. Do go and use them. They're a fantastic resource. Right, so let's dive into section 1, which is the verbal reasoning section. Okay, there are 44 questions in 22 minutes. Therefore, it's one question every 30 seconds. So as I said in the last video, if you get extra time, you will need it. I would struggle a huge amount with this section, right? As someone with dyslexia, I would struggle massively and I would definitely need that extra time, okay? So it's testing the ability to extract information from passages of text. Now, that sounds dramatic that you're going to get 44 passages of text and be asked to extract information from 44 different blocks of text. That's not quite what's going to happen. What's going to happen is you'll be given one block of text on which you'll be asked a number of questions, and then onto another block of text and a number of questions. Okay, so you'll read a question once and you'll maybe answer 4 or 5 questions on it. Okay, so you won't be reading 44 blocks of text. Okay, but let's look at one as an example. So here it is. All right, this is an example verbal reasoning question. The first thing you'll notice about it is it has absolutely nothing to do with medicine. Okay, so there's 2 strategies you can adopt here, depending on how your brain works and how your short-term memory works. Now, if it was me, right, because my short-term memory is pretty poor, that's what the root of my dyslexia is, I would probably read the passage first and then dive into the question. If you have a good short-term memory and you know what you're looking for, right, well done you, then read the question first, okay, hold those in your head and search for them, okay? So the question here is try that approach. This is not the approach I would use, but if you're better at this stuff than me, it might be the approach you would use, right? According to the passage, Tyrrell is known for the notable quality of its soil, the increasing consumption of truffles, its high production of black truffles, the premium price of its truffles. So basically, you're looking for evidence of any of those 4 statements within the passage. Okay, so let's read the passage. As a child, Mando Donate often saw strange men with dogs in the mountains near his house in Cerrion, a town in the Teruel province of Aragon in Spain. They were hunting the abundant wild truffles. In 1980, while visiting a plantation in France, he decided to become the first in Teruel to cultivate truffle-producing oak trees. People thought he was crazy, says Simona, his daughter. Little was known about how to farm the fungus. It takes around 10 years for the trees to produce. But it worked. Today, Tyrrell is the world's biggest producer of tuber melanosporum, the prince of black truffles. Last year, the region exported more than 26,000 kilograms of them. Production from France's Périgord region, previously the biggest producer, has plummeted over the past century as farmers switch to easier crops. Truffle farmers must introduce the fungus to young trees and replant each tree in a field. When the truffles produce, finding them required trained animals, but Tyrrell's meagre soil is unfit for most crops, so locals have bet everything on the black diamonds. Production has enriched farmers, black truffles fetch up to €700 per kilogram, and it's halted depopulation. Sarion's population has held steady even as Aragon has fallen. The next step is international recognition, says Daniel Brito, head of Tyrrell's Truffle Farming Association. Périgord truffles are still the gold standard. Mr. Brito hopes to win geographical identification, like those for Champagne or Parma ham, before the next season starts. Another challenge is that Spaniards rarely eat truffles. They were banned during the Spanish Inquisition as a poison from hell. To Tyrrell, however, they are a gift from heaven. Okay, so there's the passage. As you'll notice, absolutely nothing to do with medicine. So, going back to the questions, notable quality of the soil. Well, if you were paying attention, you will note that it said that the soil is of poor quality and not a lot grows there, so it can't be that one. The increasing consumption of truffles. Well, it says in the last one here that another challenge is Spaniards rarely eat truffles, so it can't be that one. Its high production of black truffles. Well, here we said last year the region exported more than 26,000 kilograms of them, right? And it's the world's biggest producer. So that one looks valid. And the premium price of its truffles. Okay, well, actually in here, black truffles fetch up to £700 per kilogram. It doesn't say that the black truffles in this particular region are particularly valuable. So hopefully you worked out correctly that the correct response is C. Option C is correct because paragraph 2 says, today Tyrrell is the world's largest producer of tuber melanosporum, the prince of black truffles. Okay, do that 44 times in 22 minutes and you will have aced the verbal reasoning section. Thanks very much. See you next time.